questions on the Dogs, Buzz.
Dogs, yep.
Listener questions from Chris. If the Dogs played Sexton, would they have beaten South and Melbourne? Seems we're only missing a half-decent halfback to get points. Why do you think Cameron Ciraldo persists with Drew Hutchison?
He persists and started the year with Drew Hutchison because he was the best trainer at the club and won everything over the off-season. That's what he announced. But super fit people, just because you're super fit, doesn't mean you can run a NRL side against. But in Ciraldo's defence, they've played a lot better. They're 15th, but they've played a lot better.
Played a lot better, yeah.
But I think that's a very good question.
I don't think they win with Toby Sexton.
I think it's much for muchness.
I don't think they win with Toby Sexton.
Toby Sexton,
he's not much quicker than Drew Hutchison.
I don't think he's
quicker, but he's a more experienced half.
Who?
Than Drew Hutchison?
Sexton.
No, he's not.
He has.
Hutchison's been around forever.
No.
Not as a half.
Yeah,
he was a 14, mate.
No,
he's a half, Buzz.
Oh, gang up again.
No. He made his debut with the Dragons like 6 years ago or something.
The Dogs are a funny side because the way Cherry played the other day, Addo-Carr on the wing, and Tickows the player of the year after 5 rounds, Crichton, Burton. Good footy side, but mate, they need a half and a front rower.
Yeah, well, they know that. They know that.
Yeah. Blood Sky just returned from New Zealand. Could you do your show from New Zealand? Maybe a live show?
Wow, I like this.
What could NRL, Australian clubs, New South Wales, Aussie fans, Aussie media do to help grow the game in New Zealand more?
It's a really, really good question. We underestimate our reach, not just on this podcast, but on NRL 360. I got a lovely email from a family in New Zealand yesterday who were coming across to watch South play, and Blake Solly's helping them out and looking at. I forwarded their email, but just lovely, lovely people. But they all listen to this podcast. It's very popular. You know the Mad Butcher?
Yeah.
Loves it.
Does he?
Okay. I've got an easier solution to this. Put another team over there. Put a team in Christchurch.
Yeah, and then you do the podcast, so Reed will fly over.
I'm saying in terms of helping the game in New Zealand.
Well, they will put one in New Zealand at some point.
Yeah, well, I hope so.
I'd say.
Because they deserve it.
I won't tour with you again.
What's that?
Last day of our last tour, you got me home at 5 in the morning.
Yeah. You had a good night though, Buzz.
Best night ever.
Best night ever.
Half when you were trying to stink with blokes.
I did not.
But if anyone wants to sponsor us to fly over to New Zealand and do the podcast from there, I'm in.
I like this bloke's name. Can you
Mark
pronounce
Robinson.
How would you pronounce it?
Mr. Snurb.
Snurb? Watching a few games over the weekend and over the past weeks, I've noticed that hardly any of the players are playing the ball with their feet. What round do you think the annual play the ball penalty-a-thon will occur?
Remember years ago, I did a tweet and I said rugby league is now a shit game.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Todd Greenberg got all the players of the NRL talk the game up. That was a play the ball crackdown. That was a play the ball crackdown.
It won't be.
And I never ever want to see one. I'm happy. Bloodsky, is that his name?
No,
that's Mr. Schnrub.
Mr. Schnrub. I'm happy with. We don't need any crackdowns on play the balls.
No, I'm with you.
As long as it doesn't get too out of hand.
I'm with you. 100%.
Pull up the blatant ones, otherwise.
We agree on something.
Here's a question.
Emails.
This is a good one.
Right.
We've been going 40 minutes and we've finally found something to agree on.
Got some emails
Go
from
ahead,
Adam from Warrington.
Yep.
Guys, I'm a huge follower of rugby league, but I'm really struggling to understand how Gus Gould is able to hold such a senior position at the Doggies whilst holding such a dominant position in media. I don't remember seeing any other GMs make so many throwaway lines on other clubs and players in the media. Honestly, I don't see how it's not a conflict of interest. You wouldn't see Nick Politis or Frank Panisi in this position. This is one for Buzz on the podcast. I know they're best of friends.
Greg Alexander's the director at Penrith, a very senior position, and on the payroll there too to host functions and kicking coaches.
Cooper Cronk.
Is he still coaching halves in Melbourne?
Mick Ennis. Coaching staff at Manly.
Yeah, Andrew Johns did Newcastle, did the Roosters. Billy Slater does. Look, there's a stack of. None of them go as heavy as Gus in their criticism of the NRL.
Yeah.
I think he's toned it down this year, though.
That would be my only point, right?
Yeah.
Is that if one of the other people came out and did an interview with us and said some of the things that Gus had said, they'd be fined. That would be my only.
I think he's toned it down since the NRL or Canterbury had a word to the NRL. The NRL had a word to Canterbury about what he was saying.
Gus down.
Well,
Gus,
nothing's made back page headlines.
There is no
recently.
volume switch with Gus. Gus is his own man.
Well, he's been on best behaviour so far this year.
We must be happy with the game because he hasn't really bagged it that much.
It's hard to bag.
Yeah. Well, he's found a way in the past.
Yeah.
Adam,
flying, mate. The game is flying.
Adam, unfortunately, we couldn't bait Buzz there, but this is from Andrew. I think Andrew's from Windus in the UK.
He's going to have a piece of Nicorette while you're
gone global.
I really think
better than smoking.
South Sydney might be better off with Latrell Mitchell. On his day, he's the best player in the NRL. He can do things no one else can. I'd like to see him turn it around and win a grand final, but it's looking less likely. A massive rebuild is needed. They need to replace Cody Walker, Damien Cook, and grab some monster forwards.
No, they
love watching you all try to wind up Buzz every week. Andy from Windus.
Jai Gray fullback, Latrell in the centres. He'll recapture his form. South will lose the next 2 weeks, but they'll finish the season a respectful 9th or 10th.
9th or 10th would be quite the turnaround.
Yeah.
9th or 10th.
Well, from where they are.
Where they are now, yeah.
Can I ask you this, Buzz? You say leave him in the centres, Jai Gray at fullback. What happens when Campbell Graham comes back?
They play one each side.
Where's Jack White and go?
I know. I think you mentioned this.
Forward,
you mentioned this on 360. It's still
5'8", half.
I think it's still far enough away that you don't have to worry about it yet, and just see what transforms.
I think Mitchell is not a fullback.
Well, I think he is. I think he's their best fullback. I think he's a better fullback than Jai Gray. Jai Gray's a half.
I named 12 fullbacks in my column the other day. And Latrell only just made the top 12.
Okay.
That doesn't mean he's not the best fullback at South as well.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Did you have any fullback at South?
Is he as good as Tedesco? Is he as good as Manu? Is he as good as Nickel Clockstad? Is he as good as Gutherson?
He's as good as Nickel Clockstad. He's as good as Gutherson. I know you like Guther. He's as good as Gutherson. Well, I think he is. Keep going. Keep going.
Dylan Edwards.
No.
Tom Trebojevic. Reece Walsh.
No.
Callan Ponga.
Nope.
Scott Drinkwater.
On form, he's behind all those guys. On
That's
form,
what I'm talking about.
That's not the point. That's not what we're saying.
At the moment, his position, best position,
yes,
the centre.
At the moment, he'll come back in the centres.
See, right? I'm brave. I'm going to say to you, you're a gibber.
No, it's not what he says.
Does he?
Are you all right, Reed?
He said, you're all right, yeah.
Are you all right, Reed?
Have you lost it?
Are you all right?
I'm saying, when he comes back, yes, come back in the centres. But once he finds his form, when Campbell Graham comes back, he goes back to fullback.
I agree. In a perfect scenario, if he's back to his best, then the best thing for South is him at fullback.
Thank you. Right
now, I'd be playing him at centre.
Yes, I agree.
And I'm not worried about Campbell Graham yet because it's still.
I'm just saying down the track.
Yeah.
We're on the same page.
Dally Centre of the Year. Even when Wayne Bennett was there, I argued that he's a centre three-quarter because he does not have the mileage in his legs to cover the territory that fullbacks have.
He's a different fullback to the others. Are you now saying you're a better judge than Wayne Bennett? Is that what you're claiming?
I'm just saying that I've said all along. Move on, please, Michael, because I have to get home.
While we're on, you need a nap, Buzz. While we're on South.
Wow. Wow.
Don't be a smart ass. You're the one who needs a nap. 2 kids under 20 months.
No, I do need a nap.
We had a nice little chat.
Should we show those messages?
No, we can't, because they were inappropriate from him.
What did I do?
Our little group chat that we had going on the other night.
What was that about? I can't remember.
About Michael having 2 kids under 20.
Oh, yeah, of course.
20 months.
20 months.
Yeah.
Well, they're both, you're right too.
Hello,
under
contraception.
20.
What's doing?
Jacob, while we're on South, Jacob, with the South forwards taking a huge dive and Tom Burgess leaving next year as well, what signing would turn it around? Moving Arrow to prop and signing an edge such as Crichton or Garner or maybe Clay Sass, or do we keep Arrow on an edge and bring a Nelson type to the club? I much prefer Jai Arrow in the middle of the field.
Okay.
I will say Tom Burgess's performance in the middle there was as good as any front row I've seen this year against Cronulla. He was just outstanding. It was long overdue, but they don't have the middles. They're like Canterbury.
Yeah,
they are like Canterbury.
Yeah.
Except they've got halves.
They're a couple of middle short.
And Jack White, as a competitor, has been a great signing for them. Yes. But as you said, when Campbell Graham comes back and they're centres.
Oh, I said that.
Personally, I would have gone harder for Fanua Blake ahead of Jack.
Yes. There were people at the club who wanted to chase Fanua Blake.
Yeah. Who's that, your art dealer, mate?
I haven't spoken to the art dealer.
Stephen Nastesky.
That's the other one that's all over the art dealer.
Yeah.
You revealed him as the man that...
He wanted a winger when you need middles. Yeah, wanted Tom Young.
He's got a lot of sway there. What's he doing?
Stephen Nastesky.
Yeah.
The art dealer. Oh, I don't know what he's doing.
They do need some middles next year.
Why do you ask me all these questions?
David
You're the one that had him in
Pick
the
up the phone, what most journalists do, ring Blake Solly and say, Blake, you know, he'll tell you.
They're hoping Davey Mawali comes through.
Well, Tavita Totola 2 years ago, I thought was on the brink of becoming the best prop in the game, but he's had injuries and he hasn't kicked.
Kepi hasn't been a great signing. I think Sean Kepi struggled. Don't get me started, please.
I ran into Sean Kepi's mum the other day.
How do you know his mum?
Well, we just ran into it. She was working somewhere.
But
we're having a conversation, and they live not far from me. So
do you know her?
No, I don't know her. She was serving me.
Oh, and she said, "Hey, are you Michael?"
No, that's not what happened. We're having a conversation.
What brand's that shirt?
I don't know.
What I'm saying is, how did the conversation start?
It's inappropriate. Mike from Townsville.
Anyway, Sean Kepi's
Republic.
I'm not bagging Sean Kepi.
You've been bagging him for 2 years.
I'm just saying, I had my concerns that he would be the signing they'd hope he'd be.
Every time, this is Mike from Townsville, every time I listen to some of you blokes rave about a PNG team based in Cairns, I find myself screaming at my phone, wondering why not one journo has bothered to ask the Cowboys how they'd feel about it. The Cowboys' footprint takes up the entirety of North Queensland.
Can you ring Jeff Ribble?
They're not, I know the answer to this.
They're not happy.
They don't want it.
No,
they're not happy about it.
They're not happy at all, Mike.
But not happy.
Can you publish that?
Well, we probably could at some point. I've left it to Peter Bedell and Travis Main.
That's probably...
That's their domain, isn't it?
But I'm getting the sense now that the PNG team will be based in PNG.
Good luck signing.
I know Peter V'landys said that publicly, didn't he? He'd prefer it was based in PNG. I just don't know.
I think it's happening.
Not even Wayne Bennett could
How are you going to get players to go there? Can you tell me, please?
Tax-free, baby.
Right. They've still got to
live there.
Pack up and live there with their families.
Yeah.
Can you tell me how that happens, Michael?
Can't.
Can you explain to the viewers, your camera, how that happens?
Nope.